Hello. Okay, next tutorial. Today's makeup is meant to be inspired by the Hellraiser horror series. Now I know I've done quite a few of those makeups before in the past, but I saw this prosthetic and fell in love. And it kind of screams Hellraiser on its own without being painted, so I had to do it. It's definitely a more challenging makeup for myself. I've never done something quite this big and like the whole cowl and the straps around the face. It was definitely challenging but fun to do. And yeah, so there's not much else to say about this makeup really, other than if you'd like to learn how to do it for yourself, stay tuned. Okie dokie, so let's start with this makeup. So what I'm going to do first is apply a plain latex bald cap. My reason for this is the prosthetic, which I'll talk to you more about in a minute, looks very much like it could be a cowl type scenario because this isn't all bits that you pull out, it's all one big prosthetic. So I think it would really complete the look if the kind of abrupt edge didn't stop at my hairline. So hopefully the bald cap will complete this cowl look and it'll look like the whole thing's being held together with kind of like leather straps. I don't know if it would be a cool idea. So consequently, when I apply my bald cap, I'm also going to be going over my ears as well, just to make sure the whole thing looks like it's fitted. So rather than show you how to pop on a latex bald cap in this video, as always, I'll pop a link on the screen up there that will take you to one of my videos that I did in the past to teach you how to do that to save some time up in this video. Wow, I've said that so many times now. So I'm going to pop on my bald cap and we shall go from there. And here we are. So when I applied my bald cap, as always, I went around the edge of the cap with about 3 more layers of liquid latex just to really blend off that seam. So now I can talk to you all about the prosthetic that I'm going to be using. So this is a very, very specific prosthetic. This is one that I've had my eye on for quite a while now. I've been super, super intrigued by it because this whole thing is one big prosthetic, other than the eyes, obviously. There aren't parts of this that you pull out, the whole thing gets applied, and it just looks really interesting. It just has major Cenobite vibes from Hellraiser to me, like these horns have been either jutted in the face or they've been pushed out of it. And look at the straps, it really, really looks like it could live in that Hellraiser type world. It's just super fascinating to me to have a prosthetic that almost looks like a mask in itself, like the whole thing, the chin and the forehead and even around to the cheeks, like it's got a fake jawline in it as well. I just think it's going to look really cool when it's painted. I'm loving the details on the horns as well, it's going to be so much fun. And as always with my foam latex prosthetics, I got this piece from mostlydead.com. I'll flash that link on the screen there. There'll also be a link in the description bar below. I swear they've just got so many different types of prosthetics, I love them. I feel like a kid in a candy store when I go on the website. So as my prosthetic is made out of foam latex, I like to use Prostick to stick that down. It's the same prosthetic adhesive I use to stick my bald caps down as well. So to use Prostick, I take a paper-based cotton bud and dip it in the Prostick, and I start applying it to the prosthetic and the corresponding area on my face. So as with all large prosthetics, I like to start in the middle and then work outward just so everything lines up nicely. And as this is such a large piece, I really want to work slowly so that there's no air bubbles and everything's aligned nicely to my face. So I start by applying the Prostick to the middle of the nose area, then my nose area, and I let that sit for about 3 seconds so it goes kind of tacky. Then I can line my prosthetic up and stick the nose area down and then apply some more Prostick going away from the face and lining everything up, starting from the edges of the nose, then maybe the lip, and then around the eye area until we're working right on the edge of the face. Then, when everything is stuck down, we can take another cotton bud and some more Prostick and start blending away the edges. So to do that, we dip the cotton bud in the Prostick and start lightly rolling away on all of the edges, because we don't want to go back and forth, otherwise we'll lift up the edges and we really want it to be nice and smooth. So we just apply it going really slowly all around the edge of the prosthetic, around the mouth and around the eye area until everything is nicely covered and we've blended off all the edges. Then, after everything is blended and dry, we can start working on colouring in the prosthetic. So for the skin area, so we've got around the nose here, the mouth, around the cheekbones, the temples, the forehead and the eye area, I'm going to colour them into almost a similar skin tone to myself, except I'm going to make it a little bit more bruised looking, maybe a little bit more sickly, and then we can work on the horns and the strap area later. So to get a nice realistic and layered skin tone, I'm going to be using a Skin Illustrator palette. More specifically, I'm going to be using the American Horror palette, because it's got some really nice reds in there. And that's an alcohol activated palette, so you need 99% alcohol to use use these colours. I just really like them because when you apply one colour and another colour over the top of that and then over the top of that, you get a really nice effect. It's just a really nice translucent product and looks a lot better than, say, a block of colour. So I'm going to start with some deeper reds in these areas, and I can start layering up lighter colours over the top of that and maybe add some greens in there to neutralise it as I go. So I'm going to be using a small round fluffy brush that's quite firm, so I can really randomly add the colour as I go on. Remember, we don't want a block of colour, we really want it to be in patches so that it all kind of blends together and looks more natural. So I'm going to start with these deep reds and then work my way up to including some of the greens. I know it looks messy right now, but don't worry about this whole area in between the horns and the eyes and the mouth area, because that's going to be painted in a really dark black, so that will cover all of these marks. I'm then going to take my Kryolan Bruise wheel and I'm going to start working on all of these little wrinkles and furrow lines around the face. So I'm going to start with this dark blue, almost black colour from the Kryolan Bruise wheel, and I'm just going to start applying that around the fake nasal labial folds going around the nose and mouth, and then I can blend that colour away ever so slightly just to really emphasise those wrinkles. I'm also going to do the same on the eye area, taking the same dark blue, almost black cream, and I'm just going to highlight these folds under the eyes. I'm then going to take the red cream from the Bruise wheel and I'm going to colour around the edge of each of the horns and then blend it up. Then I'm going to do exactly the same thing again with the dark blue black colour, except I'm only going to go halfway as high as the red. Okie dokie, so when you've got a nice gradient going upwards, we can repeat the same process that we did on this horn with the remaining 4. So there we go. Don't worry about it being too neat at this point because we're going to add fake blood into it and a little bit more rustic details towards the end of this makeup. So then I'm going to paint the straps. So to do that, I'm going to be using a Superstar face paint in Lime Black. It's a really, really deep colour. And I'm not going to use too much water for this because we want it to be as dark as possible. So just go really slowly and make sure you get all of these ridges. Okie dokie, so then I'm going to take my American Horror Story Skin Illustrator palette. I'm going to take this deep, deep red colour and using an actual paintbrush for this because the bristles are really, really, really rigid. I'm going to load the brush up with the colour and then start spackling it all over my face. You could do this with fake blood or you could use red watercolour. I'm just using the Skin Illustrator palette because it will dry quite nicely on the black areas. I can then go back to the dark blue colour from the Kryolan Bruise wheel and I'm just going to colour my eyelids and directly underneath my eyes just to make them look a little bit darker and a bit more bruised. And then I can darken up the underside of the eye with a M.A.C fluid line in Black Track. So this step is completely optional, but I'm just taking a tissue dipped in water and I'm just removing some of the makeup and I'm trying to blend it down so it's not exactly neat. Hopefully that makes sense. I just think it makes it look a whole lot more interesting if it looks like the black has been applied and it's kind of sunken into these crevices, like around the wrinkles and whatnot. I can then darken up the mouth area with the same dark blue cream from the Kryolan Bruise wheel. I'm just going to really randomly apply that over the lips without making it look like it's been blended or applied in any specific way. I'm then going to take a really gorgeous dark fake blood by Fleet Street, and I'm going to really loosely apply this around the edges of all of these horns. Only a tiny bit though, we really don't want to lose all the detail that we've worked on. It's just really to add a bit of shine. So there we go, we didn't need too much at all, and I think the pigment and the shine really does help with the makeup. So then, I think all that's left for me to do is pop on a costume, pop in some contact lenses, and we'll see what it looks like. And there we go, that's my look, officially complete. So I finished the look off by popping in 2 black sclera contact lenses that really help sell the Hellraiser theme, I think. And I popped on this really gorgeous floor-length coat with these beautiful chains that I actually got from Hot Topic a very long time ago now. Isn't it gorgeous? It's the closest thing I've got to a Hellraiser type costume, and I think it really works. Yeah, so yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this makeup. I don't think I've ever done anything quite like this before because I've never used a prosthetic quite this large, especially not with this kind of awesome mechanic of these straps going across the face. It was definitely a challenge because my hands aren't exactly the steadiest, but I don't know, I think it worked okay. Hopefully you can tell the entire look is Hellraiser inspired. And yeah, so thanks everyone so much for watching this video. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did like it, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye Fluffies!